So, Eric, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Can you please introduce yourself as well as your crypto journey? Because you've been with the firm, I think, quite from the beginning, and you've seen a lot.
Sure. So I'm Eric Anziani. I'm French. I was born and raised here in France. I'm an engineer, electrical engineer by training, though I didn't do too much of electrical engineering in my career. I started in the TradeFi side. So I worked for Goldman for a few years on trading, then went consulting with McKinsey for another 5 to 6 years, and at the time moved to Asia. So started in UK, Paris, and then moved to Asia. After consulting, I went into tech. I started with fintech, so I spent quite a few years at PayPal, then did e-commerce tech for online fashion conglomerate, and in the last 6 years I've been, let's say, back to fintech or crypto. I joined Crypto.com in the early days. We were about 10, 20 people at the time. We didn't have a product, so it was very exciting. So a lot of risk in getting into the venture, but it was a great decision that we made. Yeah.
How big was the team when you joined Crypto.com?
It was about 20 people. Yeah,
20 people.
And we were about to launch our first product, which was the Crypto.com Visa card, but we didn't have it yet in the market. So how did I go into the crypto space? I think my first interaction with crypto was in 2013 when I was at PayPal. I was asked to go at some startup bootcamp to make some investment into companies, and there was a few blockchain companies at the time. I looked at it, and it was like, well, this stuff is going to take 10 years to mature. This is not ready, which actually is. We are 10 years now down the road after that. So I kind of packed it away, and I said, yeah, it's not for now. And then in 2016, 17, especially with the emergence of Ethereum, smart contracts, dApps, I was like, oh, there's something going on, so I need to deep dive into it. And I started with the basics, which is Bitcoin white paper. Read it, it's short, and I found it extremely powerful. Not only the tech, but the game theory that powers it, and so there's no bad actor, etc. I was like, well, there is something there. Let me explore more. As I went to meetups, started to invest. So I was, in each company at the time, there was always this annoying Bitcoin guy somewhere. I was that guy. And then I got the opportunity to meet Chris, and I was like, oh, this is something I'm passionate about from an intellectual standpoint. And I got the opportunity to join very early in a startup. It's a bit risky. Sector is risky, but I think it's the right time for me to try out and join the team. Yeah.
And it was a different company, different name back then. How big is the team now? And I guess it was 6, 7 years ago. What actually did change in the company 6, 7 years ago, apart from the number of employees?
Yeah, a few things. So when I joined, we were about 20 people. We're now a little bit under 3,000. So that's the scale of the company. We have 14 offices. We've made over the years, on an annual basis, $1 to $2 billion in revenue. Last month, we did 100 billion in volume on our exchange platform, derivative and spot combined. We have 80 million customers, getting very close now to 100. We are very strong in mature markets, so France, UK, North America, city-state in Asia. And we've been expanding a bit into emerging markets in like Brazil or Turkey in the last few years. Well, it's a journey. I think when you start as a company, and you guys will definitely go through it, when you're 20, when you're 50, when you're 150, when you're 500, when you're 1,000, each time it's a different company.
3,000?
And you have to rethink the organization. You have to think that you have the right people also that can help you move to the next stage. Culture becomes even more important, but getting culture right from the onset is the key. And you can see at Crypto.com, most of the executives are the same that were there the first year or 2 years from the company. It's the same guys. So investing and getting the right people early on and maintaining the culture and getting the right people, because those are the guys that are going to hire the next 50, the next 200. So you need to get these guys right. So that matters, but then you need to involve how you work in the company. We also went a bit hardcore on scaling in 2021, and we had to make some adjustments. We're not the only one, but there was some learnings there. So now we're a little bit more cautious on how we grow and more focused. It actually becomes very bureaucratic when you start getting above 3,000, 4,000 people, and if you haven't done it with the right pace, you actually lose in productivity quite massively. So how do you keep that startup mentality, fast decision process as you grow is a big challenge, but something that we're still working through.
I found it hard with 70 people. Sometimes they were political a little bit. So yeah, I'm guessing with 3,000. You have been growing very fast in 2021, but still you mentioned from bear to bull market, let's call it this way, $1 to $2 billion in revenue per year, $100 billion of volume per month, 3,000 employees. How do you prepare for such, let's say, a bull market? How do you prepare for such a period with a boat that is so harder to move than when you were 20 people, for example?
Yeah. So first is finding what you need to invest into during the bear market. And you tend to be a bit complacent where there's not so much going on, the volumes are a bit low, what should I do? So first thing we did is invest heavily on infrastructure. We had a lot of learning from 2021. Bull Run, we're onboarding hundreds of thousands of customers every day. A lot of things broke. We fixed it quickly at that time to make sure the platforms was stable, but there's a lot of tech debt. And we knew, if we have to 2, 3, 4x that peak, won't work out. So we spent a lot of time during the bear market scaling the platform, optimizing the cost, making sure when things go back, we're going to be stable, improving support, production support in particular. Some things will break, but if you can fix it in like 2 minutes at any time of the day, then it will matter. And you can see in March, we entered the bull market again. We had a few Bitcoin ATH, peak volume. We're one of the rare platform that was stable. People could buy, people could sell. And I think that generates a lot of trust in your platform if you're able to do so. So tech investment and infrastructure, that was super key. Second, compliance and licensing for us has always been key from the day one. We KYC 100% of our customers on our centralized platform, and we've been able to secure licenses and have good relationship with regulators in all the key markets you can think of. But we still had some gaps, and the regulation evolved also, so we wanted to make sure we're following and being compliant. So you can see during the bear market, despite the negative sentiment on the industry, we secured many licenses in Singapore. We got our full license in France, in Netherlands, in Italy, in Spain, in South Korea, which we announced last week that we're launching. We're the first global player to enter South Korea after 2.5 years of effort.
Big market, but not an easy one to enter.
It's a tough one, yeah, but it's a very sophisticated market, and it's a market that set the trend for the industry. And this morning, we just announced that we'll be the first global operator to be operational in Dubai. It also took us about 2 years to get there. That, during the bear market, we continued that investment to make sure we have the right setup when the market picks up. And third is about product. This one is a bit harder because it's our industry, the trends are changing. Some are macro, like L2s, DP, etc. They're going to be there. But others, they come and go, and it's hard to anticipate.
Do you have examples?
In terms of?
Come and go trends in crypto you've seen?
No, trends that maybe we're not expecting. You guys are training it, but meme coins have taken over the Solana blockchain, for example. I did not necessarily expect that, right? It may last, actually. I don't know if it will go. But there's AI tokens exploded because there was AI revolution in January last year. Maybe we didn't expect that, right? So in our industry, there's trends that come extremely fast that maybe you didn't anticipate, so you have to be very reactive to that. The other stuff, you can think long-term. Our long-term view is that TradeFi and crypto is going to merge. And it's not going to be so fast, but I think a lot of stuff will be tokenized, especially financial instruments. So that's our long-term view. With the crypto side relatively well covered, we don't have the TradeFi and tokenization side well covered. So we started about 2 years ago to invest in that space. Not really publicly, but now we're starting to see some of that. And what does that mean, tokenization and TradeFi and crypto convergence? It means using traditional instrument to wrap crypto assets or wrapping traditional instrument into crypto tokens. The first one, for example, is our investment 2 years ago when we bought a CFTC-regulated platform so we could offer options on crypto, Bitcoin and other tokens. we're the first one to offer these tools of hedging to retail customers in the US. And we're the first one to do it outside of Bitcoin and ETH, so on Dogecoin and Litecoin and other tokens, which took a lot of discussions and work with the CFTC and then the other regulators at stake. So that's one aspect, giving tools for people to use crypto assets with more capabilities like hedging, options, futures, etc. I think that convergence is also with payment and settlement. This is something that we started as a company. We're actually a payment company in the early days. There is our Visa card. And we can see how crypto can power fast settlements across border, especially with stablecoin, right? So we try to become the platform where there is the deepest liquidity if you want to exchange stablecoin to USD across the board. So we invested a lot. We did a lot of partnership. The most recent one was with PayPal and PYUSD. We're the preferred partner for liquidity provision. And you can see how it's being used in their remittance platform with Zoom. They announced this week. And there's going to be more and more use cases with merchants and large players using stablecoin for payment. We work very closely with Visa, and we're also the first one to enable payments of settlement using stablecoin for the card business. We actually use now stablecoin to settle with Visa in multiple markets. So it's faster, we can reduce our collateral, we can do it for the weekend. So it's actually real value.
That's pretty impressive. So you use Visa network, but you use stablecoins inside crypto.com to move money from like one country to the other, for example.
We do that, and also to settle with Visa. So when you have a card program, usually you have daily or weekly settlement, you collect money from customers and you have to pass it to merchant. That goes through the Visa network, and you have some settlement that needs to happen. You have to pay Visa some amount that you have collected through your card program. So that payment used to be bank transfer, takes 3-4 days, SWIFT, etc. Now we do it through stablecoin. So even for our own operation with Visa, it's using stablecoin. It's instant, it's cheaper. And as we increase frequency of those payments, we can reduce the collateral that we need to keep for Visa in case over the weekend there is more payments and stuff like that. So from a working capital standpoint, it's actually a big improvement to be able to use stablecoin. And it's a real use case. Yeah.
And you mentioned 100 million users
Almost.
soon.
Almost.
Soon. I mean, then my question is like, how do you move? How do you jump from 80 to 100 million? It's quite fast, right? It's quite a big jump, but I hope we can maybe cheers today for the 100 million users, or maybe a couple of weeks.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
We'll have to keep it.
There's no journalist, I guess, in this room, so it's fine.
No, I think it's been a journey, and I remember sometimes we forget, when our first million, our first 5 million, 10 million, those milestones are far away now, but each of those milestones were a lot of hard work. It's getting the right product market fit. You don't have the right product, it doesn't help. Getting the right branding and recognition so people actually know who you are. In 2020, very few people knew who Crypto.com was, right? And you can see in 2021, things changed. We invested a lot in branding. So we got recognition. People have options. They look for crypto. They see Crypto.com. Oh, that's the brand that I've seen somewhere. I can understand what they stand for. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And then, of course, is getting the right acquisition on channels that are available today, social channels, media channels, and for acquisition purposes, and having the right strategy and the right cost for acquisition to scale the business. You have other mechanisms around referral and other organic flow that you can bring to the platform, and all those combine for you to grow the place. And then you need the infrastructure to onboard these people. In 2021, we had days with hundreds of thousands of users joining the platform. A lot of things break, but you need to be able to sustain that if you go hard afterwards.
And do you think you can get to 500 million users? Do you think you can get to 2 billion users one day? And
our goal.
What would be the levers? You mentioned some of the levers, stablecoin or capital markets coming on chain. What would be the different levers you see?
Our goal is to get to $250 million by the end of the cycle. So we still have a long way to go. So 250 mil. Our current strategy is in place and we're pushing hard. I think the convergence of TradeFi and crypto is going to help us. We will offer many different type of instruments into the platform. It's not going to be only crypto. So we'll focus on making sure we can distribute any type of instruments, and then down the road, these instruments will all be on blockchain, and then we'll power the movement of those. But first, we'll focus on distribution. So we need to have the right setup to do that. And of course, the addressable base of customers that you have is much larger of just only crypto, right? We also want to be the platform that is the most rewarding for customers. And there's different ways of doing it, giving them access to the best yield opportunity. And that's why we're happily working and supporting you guys. I think it's very important. In a bull market, you need to provide a little bit more aggressive yield because just buying and holding Bitcoin is already good for people. So we need to find something that is like restaking or with more leverage opportunity. So it's of interest for people versus just buying and holding, right? But generally, making it easy for people to access those yield opportunity, I think, is an important one. We built just a few months ago a fully comprehensive loyalty program called Reward Plus. So for our loyal customers that stay on the platform, that trade with us, they have benefits on trading, so rebates, on our card program cashback, on our yield earning product discounts on the fees, on referral, etc. So we spend a lot of time making it rewarding for our customers. And as we go through the bull market, we'll be even more aggressive. During the bear market, we had to adjust some of the benefits we were offering. And not everybody was happy with that, but we have to run a sustainable business, and the market environment was not there for us to support these benefits. But we said to our community, when the market comes back, we will go back and we'll go hard on the benefits. And that's what we're doing now. I don't know if you guys have a Crypto.com Visa account.
We have a Crypto.com account. Raise the hand.
Okay. It's the best time to get a card to upgrade. Now you can get an Apple phone or a Samsung phone if you apply for a card. This is like for free. This is a huge promotion we've been doing. Last month we had 5x our card volumes. It's insane. And of course it costs us, but I think it's something we won't give back. And it's the time for people also to try and go back to the industry as we're entering the new cycle. So we'll do a lot more of those initiatives. Maybe a last point is, I think maybe a lot of you guys are interested, is airdrops. It's a big topic this year.
We're not interested at all.
At all. So you have a lot coming up this year.
Yep.
But as someone entering the space, or even if you've been in the space for a while, how to get access to these airdrops is not easy. There will be ways to do it through Kiln. And generally for our retail base, we will make it super easy for them to get a share of it without having to do so many different actions. So if there's a place for you to get any airdrops there's probably 20 coming up this year, you can go on Crypto.com, do a few actions, very simple, subscribe, and then you'll get a share of that airdrop. So making it more rewarding, easier to access those benefits, being a bit more aggressive to make sure we get new people into the industry and they can see the benefits of the space. It's going to be some of the keys to get to the next level of user base.
And you are in so many countries. You have clients in so many countries. Mm-hmm. Where do you see the growth, I guess, worldwide? And how can you inscribe Europe and Paris in this large ecosystem? At the end of the day, we're still in Paris.
Yes, it seems that we are, yes.
Two French people speaking English together.
That's perfect.
What the fuck is happening, right? So yeah, how do you see the world?
Well, we're entering a bull cycle since March. Generally, growth is going to be everywhere. So you have to play to your strengths. For us, historically, we're very strong in mature markets. That's where we understand our customers better. We have a stronger regulatory setup that is valued. So you think of North America, US, Canada, you think of Western Europe. France is a very big market for us, UK, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, and then some city-state in Asia, like Singapore, Hong Kong. Australia as a country is also where we've been for a long time, and then we're entering South Korea and Middle East later. For us, this is where we have a good setup, where we think we can accelerate growth, because if you're not licensed, it's very hard for you to market and to let people know, at least in a compliant way, that you're in the market. And that's how we play. So we make sure we have the right setup, and in these markets, there is a framework that we believe is strong enough for us to participate. We've acquired it, and now we're aggressive and we're promoting, we're letting people know that we have that setup. We have a great offering, and we can do harder. In the bear market, there's some markets, like in emerging market, there was still growth, like Turkey was doing well compared to other markets, even Brazil. I think now it's bull, so everybody's going up. I don't see that many nuances. starting to shift broadly. Since October to Feb, I think it was mostly reactivating existing customers. From March onwards, we're starting to get new users in. The intent is a little bit stronger. It's not full bull yet, so we still have some time. But definitely acquisition is coming, and it's across the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want to be mindful of your time because you're quite a busy person. Tu es très occupé. But maybe just last question before, if there is one or two questions for the audience, but what are you excited about for the next 5-10 years at Crypto.com or outside?
Okay, you give me the outings, I'll start with the outside.
Yeah.
Because I'm also very excited about that. I mean, crypto is my passion, so I've covered it. I think the next topic, or trend that I'm very excited about, which we use a lot internally, is AI.
Yep.
So since January last year, I spent 15 to 20% of my time on this topic, on how to integrate this revolution that LLM brought to the world into every department of our company, internally to improve quality, productivity, but also to build new experiences, new services for our customers, so customer-facing. We invest in AI companies. We've done some investment in very large ones. We get access to new tech before before others. We experiment a lot, and when we see something that works, we scale it. So in selected departments, we found good products, market fit, and we scale those. We put engineers behind it, and we scale the solution so people actually can use it, and it improves their time to market, the quality of the output, etc. So this one is, from a business standpoint, is extremely key. If you're not using AI or you're not integrating it in your company, you're going to be outcompeted by a lot of other players. From an intellectual standpoint, it's a massive revolution. It's going to change the way we live, our kids, the education system, everything that we do. It's just the beginning, and I found it very interesting that the emergence of GPT-3 and others actually unexpected. All the people that work in the AI space did not expect it to happen that way. That's why OpenAI was open for GPT-1, GPT-2, because the quality was average. But with 3 and onwards, there was a complete shift that was unexpected by all the AI experts. And that shift now is changing our life and life of the next generation after us.
Exciting. So maybe before we wrap it up, one question over there. And
okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm a customer of Crypto.com.
Oh, very good.
My favorite
alternative
token app, because I'm living in Switzerland, so I bought my Bitcoin in the bank, which is also pretty good. So my question might sound polemic, but it's not meant to be. It's something I've been scratching my head. So what is your plan to make Binance irrelevant? And I was thinking about that because with all that happened with Binance, I was expecting Binance to go down. I don't have the full data, but it seems that they continue and they rebound and they are momentum. So what's your view about why this is happening, and how do you plan to beat them somehow?
So I don't really look at the space that way. We're still in a nascent industry, and our goal is to grow the pie. If we have participants, we hope they play the game properly, and they're compliant, and they don't damage their users and investors' interests, right? But our focus is not, we need to beat this guy, or what should we do against this? It's how can we offer something better to our customers? And that's 100% of my focus. So that's my answer on this.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi. I have a question relating to stablecoins. You mentioned that you are using those stablecoins to transact with Visa for third parties and especially Visa themselves. Is there any thinking going on as to the diversity of the stablecoins, how you select them, or it is USDC Circle all the way and no room for thinking of other stablecoins there? I want to know if there's a rationale there as to how you transact with these stablecoins.
We're very open-minded, so we're not going to pick only one stablecoin, but we do our due diligence, how the reserve are managed, redemption minting time, reputation of the company who is backing them. So for example, we use PYUSD in other use cases. We have sometimes also on our platform, we have USDT as well for trading, and we're have pretty deep liquidity on that. There's also USDP from Paxos. There's a few others that we use for different purposes and also for support. So definitely not only one. That would not be the way we want to give options for people, but we also want to select those that we feel are robust enough for us to use or our customers to use.
If I may follow up, so the options you mentioned are mostly centralized. Follow-up question is, as of today, do you think that the infrastructure backing decentralized stablecoin is not mature enough for institutional use?
Well, you can see, in the case of DAI, there's actually institutions backing it on the collateral front, right? So I think it is getting to that level of maturity. We offer it for our customers. It's not something our vendor use when we have those transfers and relationships, so we're kind of limited by that. But I don't see why not. Some of those are getting to institutional level maturity.
One last.
No pressure, no pressure.
You can take a sip of water if you want.
So we are currently seeing a centralized exchange like Coinbase looking toward decentralization with Base or Coinbase Wallet, for example.
Yes.
What is your vision on that?
Well, decentralization is the whole purpose of cryptocurrency and blockchain tech. So we have a centralized version that is an entry point and an interface with the traditional world, the banking world, which is extremely important. People need to be able to go in and out from traditional finance to crypto. But that's not the main purpose. The main purpose is for people to get full control over their assets, which is what decentralized finance, custodial wallet offers. So we've been investing in the space for many years. We have a pretty large decentralized wallet called Crypto.com DeFi wallet, fully non-custodial, offers many different protocols. We have integrated with great partners to offer opportunities on swapping, bridging, yield, and we continue to invest heavily on that. We want to contribute to the crypto space also at the protocol level. So we've been partnering over the years with Kronos, which is the #1 EVM chain on Cosmos. So we contributed into the Tendermint consensus code. We actually even maintained some of the ABCI on Rust in the early days, and we continue to do that a little bit on Ethereum, but primarily on Cosmos, EVM, and ZK. And we want to give back and make sure there is an infrastructure for people to build upon. We also do SDK, for example, for gaming. And we built an SDK for integration of wallets into games, so the Play SDK on Kronos. And we have one of the most successful Web3 games that is using that we launched last year. So we're building the component of infrastructure, we're investing in the protocol, and we have a decentralized non-custodial wallet that we've been investing many years on that a lot of millions of users are using every day.
Thank you.
Sure.